Good morning students, my name is Y. Gautami. Today we are going to discussing about the topic is planning advantages and disadvantages. It is very important for 10 marks questions to 5th unit. So what is the meaning of planning? So planning is a future course of action. Every planning is helpful to reach your targets. So what are your ambitions? What are your goals? They want to reach at the time they must or should follow planning. So plan just idea, the planning sense action oriented. Every planning is a continuous process until to reach your target. So when you reach your targets, at the time also the planning is a continuous process because of the reason. So you want to meet another goals like whenever you can follow the targets. So that's why planning plays a very vital role in management functions. So that is a primary function of management functions. So when we want to planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, when we want to meet the other functions like direction, marketing, motivation, that one also we need to take the help of planning. So what are the advantages of planning? The advantages of planning are we are listed here. You can see the first point is planning is a competency to all management. So planning is a competency. So every planning is, it is very competency manner to reach all levels like management levels in top level, middle level, low level, and what are those management functions like planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. So when you want to controlling your organization, so you need first planning. When you want to give the directions to employees, you need planning. So whatever the management functions are followed totally behind the function of planning. So that's why planning is the primary function of management. And the second advantage is it helps management to face the future with confidence. So whatever the problems in coming to the future, we maybe have the confidence because of the reason today only we are planned for the future. So when we want to meet the future, we are now present in confidence. So what are the problems or future, we are ready to face them. So that is the confidence occurred by the before planning. So it focuses its attention on objective. So what we are decided our objective, goals, targets, the goals may be reached to take the path by the planning. So whatever your goals and targets, they are must and should follow the planning. So without planning, we can't reach our objective, targets, goals. So when we want to reach our targets, objective, at the time we need compulsory planning. So planning is a ladder. So planning is a path. Planning is a way to reach our objective. So it may be focused to attention. So when your mind may be not controlling position, at the time the planning helps you can attention to reach your targets. You must and should focus your objective. And next advantage is it leads to optimum utilization of resources. So where you have that to reach targets, at the time what are the resources we have? So what are the resources? Land, labor, capital, organization, missions, equipment, power, water facility, so everything like the resource of the company. So when we are a better plan, at the time we may be better use of resources. So how much of utilization of resource means it is a better utilization of resources by the help of planning. Without planning, we may be not perfect to use our resources. So what we have the employees, labors, machines, tools, powers, electricity, so everything may be perfectly used by the help of planning. And the next point is it increases overall efficiency. So what is the meaning of efficiency? The efficiency means perfectness. So when we have the planning here works like a guide. The planning may be guides to work efficiency without any drawbacks. So what are the problems you may be faced? The guide may be gives to solution. The planning may be gives to solutions. So what are your problems? What are the employees' problems? What are the targets' problems? So what are the PET method? They may be entirely solved by the overall efficiency. So they may be show the perfectness like a planning efficiency, control efficiency, production efficiency, marketing efficiency, selling efficiency. Overall, what are the functions are involved in business? Those functions are totally depends only the planning. So when we are planning better follow, at the time we may be better overall efficiency to the organization. And the next advantage is it provides the premises effective control. So what is the meaning of premises? The premises means surrounding factors like external factors and what are the social factors, technical factors, political factors, legal factors. So when we are thinking present for the future, so at the time which government becomes, what are the legal rules, what are the society acceptable product or not. So everything maybe we think before, because of the reason when we are planning for the future. It guides decision making. The every planning maybe have so many of alternative plans. The alternative plans maybe we are filtered, which plan may be easy, which plan maybe get more results, which plan may be realistic, so which plan take to reach our targets very easily and smoothly. So we have so many of alternative plans. The planning help maybe to take decision making. So what is called decision making? We have a choice of among alternatives, but we can pick it out what is the correct, what is the highest profit. So that is the decision making. The planning is helps to guide to decision making. What you want to take a decision, that helps to by planning, and it facilitates coordination. The planning only give to the coordination functions like organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. So with help of coordination, the management is follow up overall all functions for the smooth running, and it helps performance evaluation. In the performance evaluation, so how much of employee performance, how much of we want to give the salary. So if we need any recruitment, if we need any selections, it entirely discussing only the help of planning. So without planning we can't estimation of future. So when we can't estimation of future, at the time we can't find out how much of employees we need, how many of employees recruitment, how many employees are fired out. So that's why we need to help the performance of evaluation for the help of planning. And the last point is it makes provisions contingencies. The provisions means precautions, documents. So what are the problems faced in contingencies like future event? So it helps to provide present only. So what are the problems are occurred in future, we are estimated present. The contingency nature we may be may or may not situation in the organization is called contingency. The provisions means they may be provide the guidelines, suggestions to meet the problems. So these are the advantages of planning. The first advantage is competency, like every manager must and should follow. They may be top level manager, middle level manager, low level manager. In the every level of manager they must and should complete competency of planning. And the second point is it pays to future with confidence. So what are the problems are occurred in future, present we are estimate. That's why we can get the confidence to meet the future. What are the problems? So which how many are problems coming? So we will face it because of the reason we have already planning. It focuses its attention on objective. So it helps to give to the attention to reach our objective. The optimum utilization of resources. What we have the resource in the organization, we better used by the help of planning. So overall efficiency like marketing, finance, HR, every role may be made to the overall efficiency in the organization. So it provides the premises, decision making, coordination, performance evaluation, provisions for contingency. So these are the points of advantages. It helps to decision making, it helps to efficiency. So without planning we can't do anything in the organization. So that's why planning is the primary functions for every organization. Not at all only organization, for every person. So planning is very important to reach your future target, goals, ambition. And next, what are the disadvantages of planning? So the planning only don't have advantages, the plannings maybe have disadvantages also. So what are the disadvantages we are here drawn? The first one is limitation of forecasting. So when we are planning future, at the time when we think maybe broad only. So we are maybe think broadly, at the time it is an advantage. So if you think only limited areas, at the time it is a disadvantages. Because of the reason you think only limited area. So when you cross that limited area, automatically our plan may be not applicable. So when our plan is not applicable, automatically our plan is wastable. The wastable sense, it is a demerit, disadvantages. And the second point is egoistic planning. So egoistic planning, some of the managers maybe shows their egoism by the planning implementation. So I am the superior, you are the subordinate. so I don't want to listen your words. This is the egoistic of planning. So at the time maybe we can face the problem to solve the egoistic manner. And the next point is expensive. So when our plan is applicable application, so at the time it is maybe advantage. It is not applicable at the time the planning is totally expensive. It is a money expensive process. And the next point is time consuming process. The time consuming sense, when you reach your target, at the time the time estimation also very important, because of the reason the plannings are maybe short range and long range. For example, if you decided the plan like a short range, when you reach long range, at the time your plan may be not applicable. So that's why it is a time consuming also very important to reach our targets. So within time who can reach our targets, they may be growing their levels of the position. And the next point is the delay of action. The every planning may be we think beforely. So at the time we can collect it among alternative plans. When we have a alternative plans, so our minds may be think, so plan A, plan B, plan C. So we have so many plans. At the time it may be take delay of action for the taking a better decision to select among all plans. And the next point is wastage of resources. So what we have the wastage of resource means the every organization must and should maintain some of the resource like land, labor, capital, organization, power, equipment, machines, tools. So when our plan may be successful, those plannings are advantage. So when our plan may be failure, at the time our resource also may be wastage. And the next point is unsuitable for the small units. So when we want to plan, the plan may be helpful for only long term goals. If you want to take daily actions, 1 hour actions, 2 hours action, that type of small units maybe does not follow any planning, does not follow any precautions. And the next point is dynamic environment. So when you want to produce a new products, at the time the step-in factors may be not supported. What are the step-in factors ma? Social factors, technical factors, political factors, legal factors. So those factors are when it is not supported, at the time maybe when you have the dynamic environment only supported. If you don't have in dynamic thinking capacity, at the time our planning may be failure. And the next point is limit of individual freedom. So when we are planning, at the time we can allocate the work. This is the superior work, this is the subordinate work, this is the foreman work. So because of that point only we can avoid our freedom. So who is our superiors, where they said, so we are follow only their precautions only. So that's why we may be miss our individual freedom. They may be forgot our individual freedom. So that's why this is disadvantage and not an end. So every planning is a continuous process. It is a never ending process. So when it is never ending, because of this is never ending, because until the end of the life. So that's why the planning may be disadvantage. And the last point is unrealistic target. So if you think targets only realistic, at the time maybe our plans may be helpful. If you maybe take unrealistic targets, at the time it is not possible to reach our targets with the help of planning. So these are the disadvantages of planning. So when we are follow the planning in successful manner, at the time we take the correct precautions. Otherwise maybe our plans may be failure. Time consuming process, money consuming process, we can waste full resources. So that's why better to think plan for the future evidence. When we have the evidence proof only, we can follow up to the planning. So that's why we can collect the expert opinions to make the perfect of planning. Okay students, thank you so much.